Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about a very common questions that a lot of students have. What is the correct pronunciation for the regular verbs in the past? For that, we are going to divide the verbs into three different groups or categories. The first group will be the verbs that finish in a T sound. The second group, the verbs that finish in a D or D sound. And the last group, the verbs that finish in an id sound. These verbs will finish in T or D. Example, the first verb that I have here is the verb work. If you see the verb work, the last sound of the verb work is a K. It's a K sound. And this is what we're going to call a voiceless sound. Therefore, the correct pronunciation will be T. So one more time, the verbs that finish in a voiceless sound, the ED will sound like a T. So we say worked. Example, I worked yesterday. Another example for the first group is the verb wash. The last sound on the verb wash, SH, is also a voiceless sound. Therefore, the correct pronunciation for this verb in the past will be washed. Washed. One more time, worked and washed. Second group, D sound. Example number one, the verb play. If you hear the last sound on the verb play, if you put these three fingers on your throat, it's E. You could feel the vibration in your throat. Therefore, the correct pronunciation for this ED will be D. So the verb sounds like played, played. I played soccer with my friends last weekend. Another example for group number two is the verb rain. Rain. Same thing as play. This sound is voiced. Therefore, it is produced in your throat. The ED will sound like D. Rained. Rained. It rained a lot yesterday. Finally, we have the verbs that finish in a D or a T. Letter D or letter T. So the first one here is need. Need. So the verb in the past will sound like needed, needed. And finally, want, want. The verb in the past will sound wanted, wanted. Now, we already talked about the three different sounds that the regular verbs in the past produce. T, D, and id. But let's see how this happens. Here we have a scan of a head. If the sound is produced in the mouth area, this sound will be T. If the sound is produced in the throat area, this will be a D sound. One more time. If the sound is produced in the mouth, it will be T. If the sound is produced in the throat, it will be a D sound. So, one more time. Worked, the letter K is produced in our mouth. We can feel the air crashing to our finger. Work. Therefore, the correct pronunciation is a T. But if we see play, play, the sound is produced in the throat. Therefore, the correct pronunciation will be a D sound. And finally, if a verb finishes in T or in D, the correct sound will be id, like we mentioned before. Needed and wanted. And finally, I have a sentence here to demonstrate the three different pronunciation of the regular verbs in the past. The woman mopped the floor, vacuumed the carpet, and dusted the furniture. Mopped, vacuumed, and dusted. You see, dear friends, it's very easy to pronounce the regular verbs in the past. I hope this presentation has served a good purpose, and we'll see you next time.